What's up, y'all? Peanuts 24/7 coming back with a new ESPN NFL 2K5 franchise rebuild, and this time, due to popular demand, aka a vote I did in my community tab on my YouTube page, we are rolling with the Miami Dolphins in this franchise rebuild. We wanted to go over to the AFC, and as you can see, Miami's right in the middle of the road in terms of the power rankings going into this year from the previous year. That means 2004 into 2005, I suppose. Their goal for the season is to win the division. Now, this is a division with Tom Brady in it, and the Bills are no slouch either, as we know from the first Philadelphia Eagles franchise that we did, and we're going to have to do so under the leadership of one AJ Feely. Now, I think we have the tools, and he's young enough that we're going to roll with AJ for the first year. We don't really have anything there in terms of backups, so we're gonna rock with AJ right now. And part of the reason why we're gonna rock with AJ right now is because he's got weapons, and that first weapon, one is we're basically trying to redo history here, is one Ricky Williams, 6-year man out of Texas. We all know the story about Ricky Williams. If you don't know the story about Ricky Williams, Google it for yourself. But he was an absolute talent that we're excited to hopefully have for the long haul here in this Miami Dolphins rebuild. We've got Conrad in the fullback position, not much to say there. And this is another reason why I want to rock with Feely, because he's got two uber-talented receivers in David Boston and Chris Chambers. David Boston, a little bit older, but he is in that elite territory, 91 overall in his 6th year out of Ohio State. And then there is always Chris Chambers, an 88 overall, but he's only 4 years in the league, coming out of Wisconsin. Both of these guys are super talented, and we're excited to see them catching some footballs this season. And at tight end, we have McMichael, who is an 80 overall, and look at that 87 catch, as I believe immediately makes him our 3rd best receiving option. So we've got some good options out there in the receiving corps for AJ Feely to throw to, but we do not have a ton of talent on our offensive line. As you can see, we're in the low 70s for our centers, we're in the low 70s for our guards, and we're in the low 70s, high 60s for our tackles. So not a great offensive line situation, definitely not the kind of offensive line you want protecting a quarterback who's not necessarily super talented, and a running back that we're trying to A, have a heavy workload, and B, try and keep healthy throughout the year. As we took a look at Turk and Olindo Mare, our punter and our kicker. Nothing really to sneeze too greatly at there. Olindo Mare does have a good power on his kick as well as accuracy, and Turk is a punter, honestly. We start with our defensive tackles. Decent talent on the defensive tackle front, 82, 78 starting, 77 behind that. But our first elite player on the defensive end of the ball is, of course, Jason Taylor, rocking that defensive end position, 92 overall, 95 pass rush. And he's on the other side from Ogunleye as well, who is on the last year of just a fantastic deal. Ogunleye is going to get paid next year. We'll see if we're going to be the ones to pay him. In the outside linebacker position, we have Junior Seau and Moreland Greenwood. Junior Seau on kind of the tail end of his career. I believe he's 12 years in the league at this point. Zach Thomas might sound familiar if you've been watching the Lions franchise, is our starting middle linebacker. I believe he was traded to the Cowboys in the Lions franchise in this first season, and then we ended up snagging him from the Cowboys. So we're excited to have Zach Thomas from his first year still in that elite territory. In the cornerback spot, now we have some decisions to make here, and you'll see the decisions that we make with the secondary right now. We have 2 cornerbacks that we're paying just like an absurd amount of money to. This one being Patrick Surtain that we're going to highlight right here. He's a 93 overall, 7th-year guy out of Southern Miss. And we got to make some decisions. He's in his last year. He's definitely going to want to continue to be paid. He's definitely not over the hill enough to warrant like any sort of not big contract. So we have to expect that he's going to want even more money as his contract gets extended next year. As we look at our safeties, again, not a ton of talent in the safety position, but we do have some good players in key positions as we take a look at our cap room as we head into this first season and our first little bits of roster moves. Starting out the season, Sam Madison is our highest paid player, Patrick Surtain right behind him. We're going to go ahead and release a couple players. As you see, we release an extra guard there. I believe his name is Jennings. He is no longer on the team, so who cares? We're also going to release Romero in his 3rd year. Had a lot of dead cap We're going to release our free safety, Wooden. I want to keep Ty Bua. He was a rookie, and I like trying to keep rookies if we can. Now, we signed 2 cornerbacks here, Asante Samuel and Tyrone Williams. And the reason why, and we also signed Jamie Duncan as a backup inside linebacker. So now we've put Patrick Surtain and we've put Sugonina, who is technically our backup defensive tackle, on the trading block right here. And then as kind of like a plan to replace Zinonina, we signed Dorset Davis as sort of like a backup defensive tackle. So we're going to jump into our first simulated game of the preseason. We're playing the Minnesota Vikings. And before we jump in, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't smashed that subscribe button yet, we're on the way to 500 subscriptions. It's kind of making it more of a thing for me. So without further ado, let's jump into this first simulation. Let's see how the backups do against the Minnesota Vikings. Not much to say about this one other than we got the win against the Vikings backups by a score of 17-7, and we are going to move right into our second week preseason game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We did no signings, we did no cuts, we made no trades, so we're going to just jump right in to game number 2. All right, for the second week in a row, the Dolphins are able to get their win. We do have an injury, just a little food poisoning for Tyrone Williams, so we will expect to see him back before the preseason is over, so not such a bad thing. And our first big trade in the league, it looks like the Eagles are making some moves, sending Jermaine Mayberry, a guard, to the Bengals for their backup running back, Chris Perry. So I wonder what that means for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's almost like that's a bit of foreshadowing, but we have not made any moves yet, and we're jumping right into week 3 of our preseason matchup against the Green Bay Packers at home. We're back in Miami. Let's see if we can go 3-0 here in this preseason. Three games and 3 wins for this Miami Dolphins team. We're seeing more from the starters as we go along, as well as we get that victory 13-10 over the Green Bay Packers. So once again, not making any moves from our roster. We're just going to head straight into week 4 against the Arizona Cardinals. Still at home for this one, trying to go 4-0 on the preseason simulation, something that honestly I don't see very often in this game. So that's maybe something that bodes well for this team if they managed to go 4-0 in the preseason. Also, I don't know if I said this, but we did bench Surtain and Zagonia, whatever his name is. So they aren't really playing in this preseason. So in case you're like, oh, you're going to trade them, but they're kicking butt for you here in the preseason, they are not in right now while the starters are doing their thing. So I just want to make that distinction. Let's see how the rest of game 4 goes for us. All right, y'all, we did it. 4 games, 4 wins for the Miami Dolphins, and now some more moves in the trade market, and the Eagles still making moves. They decide to trade Brian Westbrook, their star halfback, to the Bears for Peanut Tillman, so they're bolstering their secondary, and we're ready to make some trades. Jacksonville wanted Zagonia, so we get 2 picks for him, and then we end up trading Patrick Surtain also to the Bears. They had Ruben Brown, their elite guard, on the trading block. One more trade to be had. We decided to get rid of our other former starting guard, James, and we sent him to the Texans for a whole haul of picks. So we just made a bunch of draft picks. We bolstered our offensive line, and we are ready to go into the regular season. First up, we have the Tennessee Titans. That's going to be another episode. But first, we're going to take a look at, well, first we're going to sign one more guy. We're signing Jeff Choate. He's a rookie. And here we go. Our new piece in the offensive line, Ruben Brown, 10th year guy, 91 overall. Really, really good run blocking, decently good pass blocking numbers. And you can see here, we started as an 85 overall, so technically we took a step back. Our defense got a little bit worse, but our offense got a decent amount better. We're now up at a 77 overall for the offense with that improvement to the offensive line. And we are ready to take on the Tennessee Titans on our way to try and win the AFC East. So before we get out of here and you're ready to see the Miami Dolphins take some action, make sure you're smashing that sub button, hit that like button, comment on the video, all that YouTube jazz. I thank you for joining us. This is Peanuts 24/7. We'll see you on the next one.